I'm Shannon Heaton. I play the Irish flute, and this is an amazing instrument that can express a lot of different colors and a lot of different ideas. I just played a little bit of Junior Crean's Golden Castle hornpipe, and I used everything but the kitchen sink. In case you're looking for some more ideas on Irish flute tone or techniques on how to get more out of your Irish flute sound, let's get into tone on the Irish flute. So I have been reluctant, nervous to make a video on Irish flute tone because it's hard to make a one-size-fits-all. Most of what's happening in tone production for Irish flute happens really inside of the lips and in the throat and in the chest and in your breathing apparatus, your lungs, and between your ears, in your brain. I think the number one way, probably for any instrument, when approaching tone, is really imagination. If you kind of don't know what you're going for, how can you create that world? I think listening to a lot of different flute playing, listening to a lot of different flute sounds, and listening just to a lot of different music really feeds your ideas, and it feeds the image. And I think non-musical images, non-technical images are really helpful when creating tonal colors. I think listening is what really feeds your imagination. Just like if you want to become a great writer, read a lot. If you want to become if you want to have a great Irish flute tone, listen to lots and lots of different tones, lots of different sounds in the world. Something sweet. That sounds sweet. That feels sweet to me. Hard, strong. That feels nice and strong and direct to me. Smooth and maybe with a little bit of space, a little bit of air. Doesn't have to be soft. Putting a little air in there kind of gives it some room. I don't know. So these are all subjective ideas that I have. So come up with an adjective and imagine what it sounds like and try to find it. That's a simple step one in Irish flute tone considerations. So it might be all well and good to say, let's think of colors and make it happen on the flute. But there are, of course, some really initial technical considerations that if you're just starting out, or if you've been playing for a while and you're still not gone on your tonal approach, you could consider. So the first thing is how I line up the flute. I think the tone hole, I'm lining up pretty much with the finger holes. That's a good place to start. I then nestle it here, right here, and I try to make sure that I'm making really good contact, that it's not like swimming around too much. And once I've done that, if I feel like, I think I need to turn the head joint in just a tiny bit, I'll adjust from there. But I'm really trying to be pretty consistent about where I put the tone hole next to the finger holes. It's pretty much in a straight line. Okay, lining up with the tone holes. Also, when I'm going to play the flute, whether I'm a brand new player and I've never even tried to make a flute tone or not, or I've been doing it for a while and I'm just not satisfied, there's no need to rush in. There's no need to rush into playing. Line this up, maybe just using the left hand here, the right hand here, and then maybe take the top hand and just 1, 2, 3 fingers down, just a G. Let's see if we can get a nice sound with the G. No tongue, no vibrato, just. I'm just kind of dumping air through a funnel, sort of across and sort of down into the instrument. No histrionics, no acrobatics, just So sometimes when we first start out on the flute, or we've been playing for a while and we're not happy with the flute tone, we're doing a lot of... How about just line it up, put it on the mouth, and just... See if we can just do that for starters. No tongue, no vibrato. And notice this apparatus, this I'm kind of making it and I'm really feeling muscular circle inside my lips. That is what is creating the circle of air, the mouthpiece through which the air is being blown. What happens behind my lips? My tongue is relaxed in my mouth like this, and not like up on the roof of my mouth. How's my throat? When I take in a breath to yawn, my throat is nice and open, and that's how it can be when we play this nice first. A nice deep dark yawn breath. So how I shape my throat, how I shape the inside of my mouth, that's all going to affect how the tone feels and sounds. And the mechanics of kind of creating this funnel of air is going to enable me to direct the air in specific ways. G down low, and then ultimately once we get into it, G up high. I'm making a smaller funnel. I'm not blowing harder. I am just shaping the air a little higher by making the funnel a little bit smaller, by making the mouth hole a little bit smaller. Low G, high G. Now, if you're picking this up for the first time, or if the high register is elusive to you, don't just wail away on the low G and then just try to squeeze out the high G. Start with that low G. Don't rush in. Okay, so let's get in the weeds a little bit more with the low notes on the Irish flute. That's a great base for our practice. G, F sharp, and D are highly resonant notes on this instrument. We're looking to make contact, flute and chin, and focus the air so that it's kind of going down toward the floor a bit. I'm really feeling this, and then what's happening behind my lips, what's happening in my mouth, I'm feeling like I've got space in there. It's like a tonal cavity in there. In my throat, I'm feeling open-throated. I'm also feeling my throat is beginning kind of engaged a little bit. No throat noise, but just that it's the throat that is defining, that is bringing the air forward, and not t, t, t. I'm not using my tongue to define the tones, but using. So it's all being done with air and with mouth shape. The G is very resonant. The F sharp tends to be a little bit low on most Irish flutes, so just make sure to keep the pitch up, and we can see how far we can go with that, how loud you can drive it, how strong and defined, how much you can kind of almost hear upper harmonic partials in there. And when you get a good bite into it, when you get a good grab with the lips, and when you define it with the air well, see if you can hold it for a while. So the F sharp, G, and D are all very resonant notes versus the E, which is a bit raspy on its own. Hear the air in there? It's so cool. We can limit some of the air by shaping the note well, but it's always going to be a little bit raspier than the F sharp, the G, and the D. It's an imperfection in the simple system flute. It's partly what was corrected in the modern keyed system, in the BAME patented system, which takes some of the charm away, I think. I really love the raspiness, the kind of punk rock flavor of the E. The E is the Kim Deal of the Irish flute, is the real driving Pixies bass line. Let it be its raspy self. and let it be strong. So get those bottom notes, and then we'll move up the register a bit. My fingers. You'll notice the bottom fingers are flat. The top fingers for me are curved. The top fingers for me are curved because my thumb is thus. For those players who keep the thumb up here, the top fingers may also be flat. They're both correct, whatever suits you and your style of playing and your hand. But at the very least, the flat fingers in the right hand allow for coverage of these bottom holes, and allows also for the right rhythmic style when you're doing ornamentation. So all about the same mouth position. I'm really trying to get the air sort of down into the instrument, almost down toward the flute. And I'm thinking about that funnel of air being fairly like this shape. Now, when I go to ascend, I'm going to make more of a round shape. So as I go from the A to the middle D, I meant G to D. I feel a shift. I feel a small shift in the whole size, in the whole shape. I'm going from G to G. So I'm ascending. I'm getting that higher note, not by blowing harder, but by shaping the air differently. Also, for that middle D, I'm picking up this first finger. That also helps the note to speak clearly. Do with mouth position and not with blowing harder. That said, when I shape the position of the mouth, I definitely feel an engagement of air behind my lips. I feel that the throat position changes slightly. I feel a real shift. This is where step one, develop your imagination, can really help. Does it feel like a garden hose when all of the water, all of the air is just sort of spraying out all over the ground, versus if I put, if I make the hole smaller on the garden hose, you can aim it a little farther, a little higher. It's a smaller aperture. So, and again, really going for making the mouth hole smaller and not just trying to blow harder. Another way to really find position versus just sheer will or force in the higher notes, which will then give you a lot more room for different colors of those higher notes, and for the lower notes. The better you get your high register, the better your low register gets. You can try playing a low D, and then keep all 6 fingers down and blow the middle D, where we normally pick up that finger to help it speak more clearly. We're going to use just the mouth shape. We're going to play some harmonics here. I'm really changing the shape of my mouth hole. And now I'm going to change it further to get the next harmonic partial up, a fifth above, keeping 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 down, so all 6 fingers. Again, I'm not going, but I'm going. I'm changing the shape of my mouth hole, and I'm noticing what changes behind the lips, what changes on the inside of my mouth, my throat, and I'm really continuing to stay relaxed and easy in my grip, in my fingers. Okay, so now let's take that middle D, lift the finger up now. Wow, even easier now. I'm really exaggerating with my mouth what I'm doing here. But I'm really trying to shape each and every note as I ascend, get a little bit smaller with the hole, a little bit smaller with the hole. And once I get up to that high B, did you hear it? I didn't adjust it. I didn't approach it really with care. And it sounds it's a bit harsh. Let's be easy with that high B. Gentle, gentle, gentle. Okay, so whether I'm going for a nice gentle approach or I'm going for something really driving and really hard, it doesn't make any difference if I'm not in tune. Who cares what my tone is if I'm out of tune? So, it's a good idea to tune relatively, to play a pitch and to play against that pitch different notes so you can know relatively where you're sitting. Makes a huge difference in the overall color and the overall approach and the overall conversation if you are sort of in tune with and in tone with a central tone. Here's the big wrap up. Number 1, listen so you know what you're going for. Number 2, take your time and build your bass. Number 3, find the low register by putting the air where it needs to be. No tongue, just start with air. And number 4, find your high notes by shaping your mouth, not by blowing harder. Number 5, be aware of intonation and use your imagination to shape the sound. Hope that that's helpful. Let me know if you have follow-up questions. And thanks for learning Irish flute with me.